The new film Elevation has a post-credit scene that's fairly important to the events of the movie, potentially even setting up a sequel. The post-apocalyptic thriller is set in the Rocky Mountains, where humans are forced to live above 8,000 feet in altitude lest they be hunted by enormous, merciless monsters. This creates a fun gimmick for the film, building toward the Elevation ending, where the heroes utilize science and ingenuity to finally fight back against the terrifying Reapers. Elevation's cast is led by Anthony Mackie and Morena Baccarin, who play the characters Will and Nina. While they don't initially get along, the pair work together to thwart the Reapers, utilizing cobalt-coated bullets to trigger an electric charge, causing them to implode. In the movie's ending, they work together to rally the local human communities and lead a charge against the Reapers, killing several of them. It's implied that humanity has finally made a stand and can move on to rebuild, but the post-credit scene hints that it won't be so easy. Elevation's post-credit scene shows meteors coming from the sky. Meteors imply new threats are on the way. The Elevation post-credit scene shows Will and Nina looking up into the sky, where meteors are barreling toward Earth. It's unclear exactly what this means, but given the context of the Reapers from the film, it seems implied that a new threat is on its way. Characters explain that the first wave of Reapers came from underground, forcing humans to migrate up above 8,000 feet, with that being the line they wouldn't cross. This could fuel material for an Elevation sequel if the film manages to succeed financially. Given the notions of its title, Elevation is an action thriller that uses altitude as its gimmick, and it seems to imply some deeper meaning for the story. The first wave of Reavers came from underground and forced humans into the mountains, with 8,000 feet being their seemingly arbitrary limit. That idea alone not being answered leaves questions for a sequel, especially since the Reavers were discovered to be machines, presumably man-made. Elevation's post-credit scene sets up a new type of Reaper. A new threat means a new Reaper to figure out. Anthony Mackie from Elevation custom image by Yaelin Chacon. It's mostly speculation for now, but it seems purposefully mirrored that after the threat from underground was dealt with, a new threat would descend from the skies. Similarly, it could be assumed that the new threat will force human communities off the mountains and down into underground mines like the ones shown in Elevation. If the airborne Reapers have a similar Elevation gimmick, their threat could be to a maximum altitude. There's no confirmation that there are new Reapers in the meteors, but if there are, the thematic qualities of the film can be ascertained. If the Reapers are human-engineered machines, and if new ones arrive the moment the first wave is destroyed, it can be assumed that they're some sort of cruel test for humanity. Nina figures out how to defeat the first underground Reapers, but now they'll have to find a new method to defeat the airborne ones while migrating to new locations. The Reapers could be a test of humanity's ability to adapt and survive, with different waves pushing the communities into new, hostile environments, forcing them to adjust to their new surroundings. What Elevation's post-credit scene means for a sequel. Elevation still has mysteries to clear up. Anthony Mackie in Elevation in front of a movie screen custom image by Yaelin Chacon. First, whether Elevation gets a sequel is to be seen and will rely significantly on the box office performance of the first film. The reported budget is $18 million, meaning the film would ideally look to make about $60 million in revenue to make a profit. That normally wouldn't be impossible, but Elevation's reviews haven't been stellar so far, and it's going to be competing against bigger movies like Red 1, Moana 2, Gladiator 2, and Wicked within the next couple of weeks. Elevation has a steep hill to climb, but nothing is impossible. Going by the possibility that a sequel might happen, the post-credits scene implies that, one way or another, the threat isn't fully gone. Will and Nina will have to continue leading their community as a new wave threatens to extinguish them, pushing humanity into an even more desperate position. The sequel would likely force them to discover a new method of killing the Reapers while uncovering mysteries about where the mysterious, murderous machines have come from in the first place. If an Elevation sequel happens, there will certainly be new threats as they pursue the ongoing questions.